hands into center, into heart center, keeping the eyes closed. I'll open with mantra and we will begin today's practice. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Om Sahanau Bhavatu, Sahanau Punaktu, Saha Viryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Release the hands down to the knees. Let the eyes flutter open. And we're going to start with a little bit of breath work, the Samavritti, the box breath. But we'll add an internal kumbhaka, a hold at the top, and an external kumbhaka, a hold at the bottom. The count will be a slow 4. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Continue. And release. Let the eyes flutter open. Reach the arms out and up on the inhale breath. Interlace the fingers, flip the palms. As we exhale, arc the spine behind you and bring the hands forward, stretching deeply into the back. You can allow the chin to roll into the chest here, just get a little bit of a neck stretch. Next in-breath, we come back up. Keep that clasp and exhale, lift a little side bend toward the right. In-breath up, out-breath left. In-breath up, out-breath, the hands come out, down, and into heart center. Warming up the wrists. You reach the hands out, flip the fingers up on an inhale breath, exhale, pull them down toward the inner arm. In-breath up, exhale down. Make sure the fingers are spread wide, working and stretching into the hands. Remember, whenever we're engaged in our hands on the floor, it's Hasta Bandha. There are 5 focus points of practice. Mantra, we've already opened with one. Mudra, our hand gestures. Bandha, these hand lock, foot lock, and mula bandha, and some others. Pranayama, breath, and drishti, our focus. 5 points of focus in yoga practices. From here, like a light fist, and circle the wrists around a few times each direction. Going the other way. Beautiful, beautiful job. Releasing those hands down. If you're sitting on a prop like I am, remove it, extend the legs out in front. I'll back up just a little bit, so you may not be able to see my feet in the camera here. I'm not really sure. But working on strengthening the quadricep muscles. So place your hands by your sides. You can have them back a little bit, but just make sure that wherever they are, you can keep your spine tall. Pull the belly in and lift the right leg up. Curl those toes forward. Hold it here, engaging the quadricep for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. In breath, second leg comes up. Curl those in and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that down. One more each side. In breath, lift it up. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. Exhale, second side. In breath, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Turn to the side. If you're facing front, walk the butt flesh out. Let's do a little bit of stretches for the legs and the feet. Again, having a tall spine, open the feet a little bit wide and circle those ankles out, down, and around and back. So let's work also with breath here. So inhale, and as it goes down, exhale, inhaling up, exhaling down. You got it. And one more. Go the other way. Same thing. As you bring them in, it's an in breath. And out, down, and around. Out breath. Two more. Coming up. Bringing the feet back together. Let's work into smoothing and working out the hip just a bit. So bringing the left shin in close, holding on. Let the sole of the foot go to the inside of the right leg. Turn your chest toward that straight leg, and for just a breath or two, use your hands to press down, keeping the shoulders square to the front. Now, keeping square to the front, we might feel a little bit of tension in that quadricep. The foot is flexed, and we're just working a bit into the hip. Now, as we in-breath, place the right hand down. Left hand goes behind. We lift up very tall here, really pressing in, and gaze goes over the back. It's a little easier to get the leg to the floor in that way. But the other way, we're really working and trying to get that hip hinge open. Next in breath, coming back into center. Bring that up as close as you're able to, really getting a good deep stretch for the back, the shoulders, and the hip joint. Releasing that down, reestablish, wiggle the hips from side to side. In breath, right leg comes in, very, very tight, squeeze it in. As you out breath, open that knee, get the chest turned toward that front. Your hands can be pressing in and sit up very tall here, flexing that straight leg. Now left hand stays there, right hand comes behind. We lift on the in-breath, out-breath twist, and maybe we can get that knee a little closer to the floor as we look behind us. Release, coming back into center. Lean back, have the feet about mat width apart, the knees together. So let's stretch out those hips a little bit more. Start to windshield wiper those legs from side to side. Breathe, move with breath, best as you're able to. Coming back into center, bring the feet together, simply come to stand and a forward fold maybe at the middle of your mat. Let your arms be heavy here, just holding on to the elbows. The legs are straight with a little micro bend in the knee, really feeling the crown of the head moving toward the floor. Stretching out that spine. Nothing fancy going on here. Just really warming up the joints. For health of joints, we think so much about our muscular structure. Well, you know what? Guess what's holding your muscles together in a stable position? Those joints. So we want to really work into those before we do anything more strenuous on the body. Bend those knees, place the hands on the thighs, and we'll start to roll ourselves up. Come to the front of the mat. Feet are together or hip width apart, depending on your preference now. We're advancing, right? These are beginner plus. So a lot of beginning postures, but additions on to knowledge that we already have, just showing us how to go a little bit deeper into the poses and learning some new ones and new breath practices as well. Coming into our Tadasana, rolling our shoulders open, Belly's engaged. Those hips aren't shifting forward and your butt's not poking out, but it's a nice tall stance here. Gaze is at the tip of your nose or possibly directly in front of you, finding a spot on your wall or way ahead that you can put your full concentration in. Coming into some sun salutations, these will hold the breath, coming forward from down dog into knees, chest, and shins. They may be a little bit different than what we're used to. Reach those arms out and up on the in-breath. You can add a little back bend here if you'd like. And as you out-breath, bend and fold forward. Inhaling, the right leg goes back. You can drop to the knee or stay off the knee and the gaze goes up. Plant the hands, exhale into downward facing dog. The bottom of the exhale, hold and retain that as we come into knees, chest, and shin. You can also do chaturanga. We might do that in a minute. And in-breath up into the cobra. Out-breath, downward facing dog. Different ways that we can continue to add on to our beginning practice, right? In-breath, right foot to the front. You can drop to the knee or stay off, gaze up. Out-breath, back foot up, comes up, fold it in. Inhale, arms out and up. Maybe that back bend happens. Exhale, arms out and in. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, left leg back. Gaze up, knee up or down. Exhale, down dog. Hold the breath. Knees, chest, and chin or chaturanga. Inhale in cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Now those of you who are still working on chaturanga, remember you can go down, and as soon as you lose control, then you can drop the knees. So I'll do that next round. In breath, left foot to the front. Gaze is up. Out breath, back foot up. Fold it in. In breath, arms out and up. Out breath, arms out and in. Back to the right side. Inhale. Exhale. In breath, right leg. Out breath, down dog. Hold the breath, either knees, chest, and chin chaturanga, or if you're working on it, come forward. Start to lower. The moment you lose control, drop and finish out. Ready for the in breath up. Out breath, down dog. Inhale, right foot to the front, gaze up. Exhale, back foot up, fold. In breath, arms out and up. Out breath, arms out and in. Last round. Inhale. Exhale. In breath, left. Exhale. Down dog. Hold the breath. Go through your choice. Inhale up. Exhale back. In breath, left foot to the front. Out breath, back foot up, fold. In breath, arms out and up. Out breath, arms out and in. Breathe. Releasing the hands, placing the hands on the hips. Step or jump the feet out a little wider than hip width. Reach that chest up, in breath, maybe adding a little more of a back bend. Out breath, forward fold, clasp onto the big toes with thumb and first 2 fingers. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold, elbows out. Rock a little to those toes. Feel that stretch in the hamstrings. Hold here for 5 breaths. And in breath into a half lift. As we out breath, place the hands underneath the feet, palms to soles. And as we out breath, bend the elbows out to the side, folding in. Rock a little to those front toes again. We tend to hang way back in the heels, and that's okay.
but sometimes rocking a little bit more toward the front toes can release into the hips a little bit more. Breathe. Release. Bend the knees, place the hands on the hips, and rise back up, back into our Tadasana. Next in breath, step your right leg back, all 10 toes facing the front. Reach those arms out into a T, in breath, out breath, hands to the hips. In breath, lift the chest, a little back bend here, a little series of Padotanasanas. Exhale, forward fold, crown of the head toward the floor. Release the hands, fingertips in line with the toes, and fold it in. 5 breaths. Place the hands on the hips, bent knees are straight. In breath, coming back up. Exhale. Round 2. Arms out on the inhale breath. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back. In breath, pull the arms down, gaze up. Out breath, halfway, establish, and then fold it in, arms come overhead. 5 breaths. Release those hands, place them on the hips, bent knees are straight. In breath up, exhale. Round 3, arms out into a T, inhaling. Exhale, bring the hands back to the hips, pull the elbows behind. In breath, the gaze is up, little back bend. Out breath, keep the hands on the hips this time as the crown of the head goes toward the floor. 5 breaths. In breath, coming back up. Exhale. Last round. Inhale, arms out into the T. As we exhale, we fold over. You can pause here halfway just to establish the pose. And then clasp onto the big toes. In breath and a half lift at the bottom. Out breath, elbows bend out, the crown of the head to the floor. Hold and breathe. Release those hands, place them back on the hips. In breath, come up. Out breath, heel toe it in, and come back to the top of the mat. Back into our Tadasana. Feet together or hip width apart. A few rounds of softening breath here. Next, in breath, reach the arms out and up, gaze up. Out breath, forward fold. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, right leg steps back, the heel spins in. Pull the belly in, reach coming all the way up into Virabhadrasana 1. Hold and breathe. Next, exhale, bring the hands down into heart center, spinning up on those back toes. Exhale, coming into revolved crescent lunge. So that our elbows can stay here. If you want to work a little deeper, then really get that shoulder, bring the hand down, reaching the arm up. And you can always be on that back knee. Gaze goes up. Top hand comes down. Unbind, plank. 2, knees, chest, and chin, chaturanga, or continuing to work in your chaturanga. In breath, up. Out breath. Downward facing dog. We breathe. Next in breath, right leg reaches up, inhale. Exhale, step it to the front. Open up the back foot, windmill those arms around, warrior two pose. Gaze is over those front fingers and we sink it in. Interlace those fingers, turn the chest toward that front left, really reach, out breath, working that right shoulder on the inside of that leg. Breathe. Release those hands. Place straighten that front leg and place the left hand on the outside of that front right foot, and then twist the chest open to the right, possibly reaching the arm up. Extended, revolved triangle. Top hand down, bend into that front knee. Back foot steps up about halfway. Square off the hips, maybe walking the fingertips a little farther away, folding into pyramid pose. Breathe. Now in that extended pyramid, if it's too intense with the length, you can always step your back foot in. So you always will have options. This is a beginner's plus, remember. Bend into that front knee. Bring that back leg up to flight. Reach it up, standing split. Exhale, knee in toward the nose. 5 more of those. Inhale up. Exhale. For 3, 4. 1 more. Oh, excuse me, 2 more. 5. And now 1 more. Beautiful job. Now take that knee and bring it to the opposite side on the outside. Have a little squat going on here, just to be able to build some more strength in the quadriceps. You can also tap your back foot down. Just hold here and breathe. And come up. And foot down next to the other one. Forward fold. Bend the knees or keep them straight. Reach those arms out and up. Exhale, hands down. Coming back into Tadasana. We still have all that to do on the other side. So rolling those shoulders back. Breathe. Next in breath, arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, left leg steps back, the heel spins in. Square off and rise up. Veer 1, hold and breathe. Hands come down into heart center, spinning up on those back toes, and take your revolve twist, or right away, work your shoulder to the outside, hand down, reach the other one up, breathe. Hand down, step back, vinyasa. Few rounds of breath here, settling in. Next in breath, left leg rises up. Out breath, step it to the front, back foot opens. Windmill those hands, coming up, Vira 2, sinking in. Interlace those fingers, turn the chest, in breath, out breath, trying to work that inside shoulder to that inside thigh. Breathe. Work that pose. Continue to extend the arms. Release. Straightening that front leg. Right hand comes to the outside. Left hand starts to twist open, opening that chest. Maybe that left arm goes up, extended triangle. Remember, you can always shorten your step. Top hand down. Bend in for a nice low lunge. And back foot steps up about halfway. Straighten, folding into our pyramid pose. Maybe the arms are walking away, maybe they're not. Bend that knee. Reach that back leg up on the in breath. Out breath, knee to nose. 5 more. For 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 more. 6. Now, take that knee and bend that front leg. Maybe those toes will float. Not flirt, float. A little bit of a curtsy squat here. Just hold and breathe. Really feel the work in that standing leg. Unbind, reach it up. Bring it next to the other one. And squat down. Sit down. And little core work here. Coming into our boat pose variations. First one, feet are on the floor. Get a tall spine so we're not hunching in. Release, hold and breathe. And in breath, coming up. Really stretch out that spine. Second round, you can also take the first round by keeping the feet on the floor. If you want a little more challenge, knees together, feet up, and hold and balancing on the tailbone. Remember, the higher up your arms are, the more challenging it is, but it can also strain the back. So listen to the body, not the mind, but the body, and breathe. Spine is straight. Coming back up, little campfire stretch. Got 2 more rounds to go. Each one of these builds on the next. So if you find one that's too difficult, you just drop back to the most challenging one that you were able to accomplish today. Every day's different, every day. Leaning back, third round. This time you can have the legs straight, full pike position, and the arms are reaching. Pull that belly in and breathe. And wrap it in. What could possibly be next, right? One more thing I can think of, at least one more right now. You have an option of holding on to the heels or the big toes and straightening the legs as we come up. So we'll do the big toes first if you want to. Lean back, balancing on the tailbone, perhaps reaching those legs up. Now the other version is holding on to the heels, coming up and getting those legs as close as we're able to the chest, and breathe. Pull that belly in. I know there's some of you out there who want to do that. So just breathe, right? Bring it in. This time, cross at the ankles, round it over. Can be on the forearms or your forehead can be on the floor. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Now our core is all nice and warmed up. So unbind, come to stand. Some standing balanced postures. I'm going to move back a little bit. My space is always a little bit cramped. All the way. Shifting to the right foot. Bring those left toes up. And bring the knee up. You stay here. Or if you'd like, you can straighten that leg out and hold here. Breathe. And bring it back in. Drop it down. Switching sides. We'll have an option for a deeper version the next round. Bring that right knee up. Extend it out. Hold and breathe. And release it down. Shifting weight. This time, you have an option of holding on to the big toe. So we can hang here, correct? If you want to try, you can reach that leg out. If we find balance here, maybe we can reach the opposite arm up. Hold and breathe. Bring it in. Release it down. One more side. Shifting. Hand can be at hip. Bring in the right leg. Hold on. Find a drishti point. Remember what I said? Pranayama. Drishti. In. Reach that leg out. Follow that breath. Find some spot not to move, and perhaps reaching the other arm up. Bring it down, release, and step back to the front. Oh yeah. Balancing postures. Making our way down to the floor. Step the feet wide, toes pointing out. Drop those hips in, Malasana squat. And let's get our arms working in there. Push out those legs. Get the spine tall and straight. Hands can be here. And really pressing those hips out. Breathe. Also, this can be just as good. Every day's different. You know that? Every day. Our body has had a different experience the night before, or the morning, or the day of, and so every practice will be different. This is where we learn ourselves. Beautiful. Dropping the bum down. Taking the legs out in front. Give them a little jimmy shake here. Shift the legs one way or the other. Come up into a down dog and pedal out those legs. Gonna do a few locust versions here from down dog. Come forward into plank, do a little lower down to the floor. Place the hands underneath with the arms inside of the hips so the hip bones aren't digging into your arms. Chin stays on the floor. Extend both legs behind you. Lift the left one up, hold here and breathe. Release the leg down. Reestablish. The right leg comes up. Release down. Now both. Reach the feet away first and lift those legs up. Chin stays down. Release it down. Take the hands out. Make a little pillow. Softening into the breath. Turn the head the other way. Now, place the hands underneath the shoulders. Come up on the hands and knees. Be on the back, up on the back toes. Send your hips back towards your heels. Walk the hands out. forehead to the floor. Stretching out toes, shoulders, forehead against the floor, engaging our parasympathetic nervous system here. Finding some relaxation and comfort. Not just from being worn out, but from softening, having that forehead connected to the floor. Pineal gland is behind there, connecting to our third eye wisdom. All kinds of stuff happening here. Now come up onto all fours. Measure out your shoulder width by folding the arms and have fingers touching elbows. From there, release, make the hands into a fist, but don't interlace the pinky fingers. Have those neutral. So just let them, one rest inside of the other instead of having a cross here. And that way you're able to press more from the forearms, thinking about the pinky mound side of the hand. Dolphin pose here. So curl those toes up into a down dog and walk the feet in. Really press into the forearms, strengthening the shoulders. Gaze is right between those arms, or if you prefer, if it bothers your neck, up toward the belly button. And you can walk those feet in as much as you'd like. Heels may or may not touch the ground here. Don't sink into the shoulders, building shoulder strength. Reach one leg up if you like. Drop it down. Other leg up if you'd like. Drop it down. And now to the knees. Wide, forehead down, hands down by your ankles. Breathe. And release. Coming up. Woo. We need to cool down, right? Get the hips out of the way. Wiggle them from side to side, or just pick them up and move it. Rolling the shoulders back. Inhaling, arms reach up. Out breath, reach and over. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Chin can roll into the chest. Hold here for a few breaths. In breath, looks at your feet. Grab onto your right foot with your first two fingers and thumbs. And come up. Bring that knee in toward the armpit. So kind of a happy baby situation. You can rock that back and forth if that feels best. Just bringing some comfort to the hip flexors. And if you're ready, just bring it over to the outside, taking that left leg back. Pose of half Lord of the Fishes here. Nice tall spine. Taking our left arm up in the air and then maybe bringing it to the outside. If that doesn't work, you can also wrap the arm around. Right hand goes behind, we lift, gaze behind, breathe. Coming back into center, in breath. Little counter twist. You have an option here, twisting this way, or bringing that shoulder in, flipping the palm, and making a hand clasp. Coming to sit up tall, and then turning the gaze back. Half Lord of the Fishes with a bind. Breathe. Release, coming back. Nice pose of nobility. If you got it in you, cross that knee over the other, coming in for Gomukhasana. Now, I get that doesn't work for everybody. So you can always have the bottom leg extended straight. Whatever we have, sit up tall, nice tall spine, and then the out breath, walk over, keeping the hips connected to the floor and fold it in. those hands back out. Before we give up everything, rock back, extend the bottom leg out, back to a cross situation. So we have our hip not on the knee joint, but behind it. Now, I'm super tight hip, and one hip, my left hip, is genetically displaced. I can't do a thing about it, and it's super, super tight and hard to maneuver, but I still do it, right? We work with our limitations. So, tight hips or not, here we go. A right ankle is over that left thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Pull your toes back towards you as we sit up, and then get the chest straight and fold over, working in to that hip. You can take your other hand and place it on the floor, or I like to take my elbow and place it on the inside of my thigh and really stretch over, getting a little bit more stretch for the hip. Ooh. This is where I go to my happy place because hips are super tight, but I work on them every day. So we keep breathing, keep moving, and come up and out. You can shake those out just a bit. Breathing it in here. Paschimottanasana again. In breath, reach it up. Out breath, over. Sinking it in. Look at your toes on an inhale breath. Clasp on. Bring that leg up with you. Hold here and breathe. You can also remember, move it, wiggle it. It works. If you want to, you can place it on the other side, coming into a pose of nobility. Taking our right arm, wrapping it around, or bringing it to the outside and coming into a twist here. Back into center. And now we can take that bottom leg, bend it in. And come into our counter twist if we like. Or you can also do that bind. Gaze, oh, not quite hooked here. My pack is behind me. Try not to take that off. And the gaze can be back. So I had that one side there with the legs straight to show you another option of that same posture. Gaze behind. Release, coming out, and if it works, Gomukhasana, second side. This, remember that I told you my left hip, so I have to really work getting that level with the other one. We do what we do. Sit up nice and tall, and breath. As we're ready, walking out, pushing both hips into the floor. Walking back up. If you hadn't already unbound, because remember you could always have that straight leg option, straightening that bottom, taking the left ankle, not on the knee. See how high up that knee is? It's 2.5 inches higher than the other side. 2.5, that's a lot. So pulling those toes. I am kind of happy about some of my limitations as a yoga teacher, because it makes me more real to what I cannot do and show how I make it work anyway. That's how I feel about it. In breath up, and then we lean it over. Keeping that spine straight. So I'm leaning over. My shoulders, of course, are rolling in a little bit, but this back, lower back is very, very straight here. Keeping that chin moving forward helps a little bit as well. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And release, coming up. Ooh, give them a little Jimmy shake. Come back, rolling down onto our back. Get that mic pack a bit out of the way here. I don't want to turn it off. Bring those knees in and rock a little from side to side. Arms come out into a T. In breath here, center. Out breath, let those legs go right, knees to the floor, but let the feet be floating up a little bit. And let the gaze, maybe if it works for your neck, travel toward the left. You can take your right hand and press down the thighs, but keep the feet up. Release, bringing it back in. Second side, rolling to the left. I might have turned my mic off. And gaze up. Release, coming back in. Oh yay, it stayed on. I heard a click and I was afraid I'd turn my mic pack off. Bring it back in to center, just rocking a little from side to side. Release those legs long on the mat. Nice, deep, full stretch here. Oh, feels so good, right? Arms down by your side traditionally. But I will tell you, for me, it feels really good sometimes to be overhead. So for a few breaths, I'm going to leave mine here, and then I will transition them down by my sides. Feels good to have my shoulders softened. Speaking for myself, you do you. Remember, in these videos, you have to listen to your body. Don't do anything that doesn't feel safe. Relaxing feet, toes, the ankles, the legs, the bum, hips, sink them into the floor. Relax the fingers, the wrists, the palms. Relax the arms deeply into the floor. Relax the shoulders and the chest, the head, the jaw. Relax the muscles surrounding the cheeks, the eyes and their sockets. Relax the space between the brows, the forehead. Let everything melt in. If you have longer time, pause here. Stay in your Shavasana. If your time is short, you can roll to your right side, making a little pillow with your arms. It's the safest place of laying for your heart. Use your hands to press yourself up to an easy seated posture. Sukhasana. Nice tall spine. Dhyana Mudra, sometimes called Chin Mudra when the palms are facing up. Close the eyes here. A few breath meditation moments. Just follow your breath.
into Anjali Mudra, sometimes called Namaskar Mudra. Anjali, prayer posture, the chin dips in toward the chest. Giving gratitude for the practice, for you showing up on your mat at home, wherever you are. For moving your body, accepting its limitations and continuing to work on equanimity of body. I bow to you, you bow to me, and together we can say Namaste. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram. If you like what I do, subscribe to the channel, give a comment now and then. Many blessings and much love to you.